What up, what up, what up, New Gaming Order? We back for our first installment for September. We have our snack panel here today, but first, we want to say happy belated to Nelson Del Rio. His birthday was yesterday, so yay. So I just wanted to put him on blast. So happy birthday to all the Virgos out there. You know, Michael Jackson's birthday is this month and everything. But
Also,
wait, hold on. Oh god damn it, didn't play. There we go. That's for Michael Jackson.
You know what?
Wow. That slowed down, man.
Also to let you guys know, NGO Goken's birthday will be happening this month as well. So.
Oh shizzle, that's what's up. No, so yeah, me and my other cousins probably have to stop by and have some Elmera fun. All right, cool. So going around the table and any current events you might want to bring up in short. Starting with our guest Snake, our viewer slash. Hopefully we can bring you on as a staff member. So words of intro before we get started.
How's it going, guys? My name's Snake. I mainly play fighting games, but I do play a lot of other games, but mostly fighting. I'm a huge fan of Metal Gear Solid. But yeah, if you guys talk about a game, I'm pretty confident I can hold my own in the conversation.
Oh, we have some good stuff.
Okay. Just one thing, Snake, for your audio cue, make sure you speak very loud and clear so that everyone can hear you, because you were somewhat far away.
Yeah, no, I got you, man.
All right.
How's that?
Better, much better. Okay, you're good.
Okay.
All right.
I gotta get it like a dedicated microphone. I gotta experiment with that.
You know what? We'll make a request for equipment, if anything. If we bring you on our staff, hey, we can make it happen for you.
Oh, snap! I'd appreciate that.
All right. Kissimmee, what's going on, man? How you been? Words of intro.
Man, I've been good, man. I missed y'all, man. I've been gone for a couple weeks, but I'm back. Hey, man, I miss being on the podcast, man. I miss being on the podcast, talking games with the fellas. So feels good to be back. Feels good, you know. Metal Gear's out. Feels even better. I got my collector's edition today. Finally came in the mail. So you know, so it's a lovely day, man. Let's go.
And you know what? I want to make note that I feel picked on because when Khalif is missing, there's no jail, no running across the, doing some craziness as On Your Knees keeps picking on me. That's why he's gonna go last.
Oh man,
I didn't do nothing.
Yes.
Hold on. There you go. See ya.
all right. NYC Playboy, words of intro, man. Welcome.
Hey, fellas. I've been gone for about 2 weeks. I'm in Africa right now, so I was just,
See you in Africa right now?
Yeah, that's Idris Elba, the new James Bond.
Shit.
Can't you see the tent in his background?
Oh, I'm not even watching the video.
They have internet in Africa. Shots fired.
Oh.
Hey, you know what? We have some service members here, but we'll talk about that offline. All right.
For once, that was not me.
Shut up. All right. And On Your Knees, words of intro, man.
So what's up? I won't be streaming video until I'm done eating. I got held up at work. But two things. For Metal Gear Solid 5 on PC users with the AMD Phenom 2 chip, apparently there's issues where the game crashes on startup. There is no fix as far as I'm aware of, and this is probably why it's crashing for me on the other one for Metal Gear Solid 5.
Did you install
Ground Zeroes?
There's been 2 updates. Did you get on that?
No, I didn't check on those, but I know, as far as I know, Phantom Pain still won't play for me after all this time.
I got AMD Phantom 2, so I'm on that train.
Too, so you got to watch out for that. And also, we talked about this earlier, but the FTC came down on Machinima, but it's essentially slap on the wrist for them and Microsoft for them not disclosing the directed marketing shit that they do.
Oh, the YouTube thing, the deceptive shit.
That just broke out today or yesterday. So I figured I'd bring that up since we were talking about that previously.
Now, we could talk about that later in the podcast.
Actually, you know what? I take it back. I don't know why this made it big again, but this is closer from February. I don't know why this made it a rotational news aggregator.
I guess that they took some action against it, and that's why I reached out.
They might have, they think they just slapped them on the wrist, essentially what happened, so.
Okay.
But anyway, that's just 2 things I ran into this week. But I got nothing else right now.
All right, and before we get started, other current events. I don't know if you guys know, but Kanye West says he's gonna try to run for president. We already got Trump, so let's make another farce out of elected officials' positions. You know,
I thought Waka Flocka.
Wow. Hey, it is what it is.
He was.
I can't say too much because I am what I am to the United States.
Oh yeah.
No, they're not.
I just forgot I'm a part of that.
Yeah, Alex, you're not president yet. You can talk smack all you want now.
Yeah, but then eventually, if they get elected, I would end up potentially having to salute one or the other.
That's fine. Well, you're going to be saluting Trump at this rate.
I love all of my.
And we're getting started.
I love the government. I love the government.
Hit the car
so
crash,
much.
Please.
Government, I love you so much. You guys pay me so well. You guys pay me
on
on time and take good care of me. I love you, government.
Oh, I didn't know my car crashes.
Okay, it's all good, but let's get started with our first topic.
I didn't come in with my introduction. Hold on.
You had your birthday and you got a nice...
I don't give a shit. I want to talk too.
Go ahead, Nelson. Go ahead.
All right, guys, what's going on? This is
Good
NGO.
timing.
This is NGO Mugen, or as you know me of Nelson for Newgamingorder. You guys will not see me today due to the fact that I have a lot of stuff and a lot of trash in my room. But I will be like what Alex calls the operator of this stream. So if you have any questions or anything, please let me know. And yesterday was my birthday. It was pretty well, thanks to NYC Playboy and a few other people. Yesterday, I cried on stream out of what has happened. So.
Ew.
We'll talk about that later on in PSAs.
Take it to the chest, man. Toughen up.
Toughen up. Yo, if you saw what I got yesterday, you'll break down too. Shit.
If I have
Street Fighter 5 pre-order of Candy's DLC.
Let's get started, Newgamingorder. And
that costume's hot. I'd cry if I got that costume.
Well, hey, it is what it is.
Even though it looks like Jack and Daxter. Though.
That's exactly what I said.
But you know, you know what? I'll say that for PSAs because the Street Fighter 5 outfits, I have something to say with that. But first topic in the shoot, I wanted to shout out a YouTuber. He goes by the YouTube handle Fringy, and much respect to him. I'm gonna put the link to his video in this section because he did enough research where I don't have to question it. I saw the articles, and it's just Konami, fucking Nami. What the hell are you? Oh my goodness. This has a lot to do with pieces of Gamergate, Konami's bullshit, and just the legitimacy of game reviews. Okay, now the foundation is Konami had a press event which was supposed to set up access for, you know, I'm just throwing some companies out there, IGN, Gamertag, Machinima, people, you know, reputable game reviewing entities. They go to this event, right? Now, it's as if Konami were hovering around these guys like buzzards, watching them play the game, right? Now, the event was 4 days long, and they can only 5 days long, and they only had access to the game between 9 to 5. So you got 8 hours a day for 5 days. You only have 40 hours of whatever potential content, which a game that's open world, you know, you got Batman Arkham Knight. You can go back and essentially play that game for hundreds of hours. Okay. Now, it's almost as if Konami even allowed them to get access to cheat codes to get through the game faster. Okay?
What game are we talking about?
Metal Gear Solid 5.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So Konami pretty much set up or put the conditions in such a way where they pretty much kind of tried to coach how the review of the game was going to go. So now it's something where, okay, how is it that you could do a true review of the game, pre-release review of the game, and give it like, you know, ridiculous, like, oh, this is the best Metal Gear ever, and they didn't have adequate time to really get in there like a Angry Joe or a Review Tech or these guys who will actually sit and get into the game. Like I know Nelson, my cousin, they're gonna get in there and we're gonna do a proper review. Not that bullshit that Konami set up so that they can get, hey, this is the best Metal Gear ever, this is great, and all this other stuff. And then when people are gonna go pay for this stuff, and it's a deceptive review because they didn't even touch Mother Base, which a lot of people weren't too happy about. They're like, man, just give me Metal Gear, you know? And it's just like, wow, what the hell's going on? Konami's trying to control or purchase how their reviews go for their games? I mean, this is ridiculous. So what I wanted to do, I wanted to start with Snake since he's our newcomer. And what are your thoughts on Konami setting up these conditions so to kind of steer the review? And also, I will add that Fringy made a good point in his video stating that Konami was monitoring these folks so much, it's like they were spineless to stand, hey, like, let me fucking play the game, let me review the game. But no, you can't write about this, you can't say anything bad about that. That's bad practice, and if this doesn't stop now, all other companies, I will bet you Capcom would do it. You know what I mean?
They're already doing it. This is normal for this type of
stuff. Yeah, this
I
isn't
mentioned
new.
this.
This isn't new.
I mentioned this last week too.
Okay,
Yeah,
so yeah, everybody's gonna get a chance. So, Snake, what are your thoughts on Konami doing this shit? You know, I mean, what the hell?
It absolutely doesn't surprise me.
Okay.
Because personally, I've seen since day one that companies will come out and pay extra money to other reviewers. That way they don't talk bad about their game. Never, so what? So what? We're talking like 5 years now, 6 years. Never have I seen a reviewer like IGN. And remember, folks, you can't spell ignorance without IGN. But never have I.
Oh, I don't have a jokes in there sound effect. I gotta throw that in there. Sorry, you go ahead.
never have I seen a company straight up go, hey, this game is bad because A, B, and C and stuff like that. All they do is talk about how good the graphics are, how good the guns are, how good the cutscenes are, how good the voice acting is. They don't talk about the actual core gameplay, what makes the game fun and stuff. And just to add on to that real quick, it's just like fighting games, man. I don't mean to derail it or anything like that, but it's just like fighting games. If you go and look at reviewers and stuff like that, reviewers don't actually talk about the fighting game. They talk about the graphics. They talk about the
presentation, not the game.
That's the only thing that they bitch and complain about. But yeah, this whole thing with Konami and stuff, it doesn't surprise me. I don't care what Konami says. I don't care what anyone says about Metal Gear Solid and stuff like that, the whole 10 out of 10 thing, because I looked at the game for 5 minutes, and it's a watered-down version of Metal Gear Solid 2. That's all I have to say.
And you know what? Never mind.
We can get into it. We can get into it.
I mean
we definitely will. Wait till my turn.
Okay.
Yeah,
no. When we get into it, make sure it's like you and I can come at each other, not like turns and stuff.
Oh no! It's not gonna be no threatening thing or whatnot. But
I
have my own opinion.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Yeah, of course.
You know what? Here's another thing too. Before I give Khalif the floor, it's like, okay, with the whole Gamergate thing, a lot of people stood up for, you know, reviews and the review ethics and whatnot. But since a lot of people like Metal Gear, those social justice warriors, nobody's saying anything because maybe they like Metal Gear. It's okay for Metal Gear, but let EA and somebody else do that. You'll crucify them and nail their balls to the wall. You know what I mean? It has to be straight across the board. You can't do it because you can't not say anything now because it's a game that, like, I would say the vast majority of gamers like. You know, if what's fair is fair. Metal Gear or not, that's bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, since I'm going next, I'm going next, I'm just going to piggyback off of that. The game is phenomenal. I'm playing it right now. Okay. I love. Everybody knows I'm a Metal Gear fan, so you can count me out or whatever you want to do. Okay. At the end of the day, I've always felt that reviews are taken way too seriously. Just think about what a review is, and what it's and what the whole premise of a review is for. There's one person that reviews this game from these different outlets, and they sometimes switch it up between. Sometimes it's the same person every now and again, but they switch it up, and ultimately, it's what that person thinks of the game, right?
Okay.
So I don't understand why reviews are taken so seriously to where Gears gets a Gears 1 Ultimate, or the Gears Ultimate Edition, excuse me, gets what is it, a 7 from, I think it was GameSpot, and everybody freaked out, and you know,
it's an older game, it's a remastered
but
game.
I mean, outside of all of that, people took that. You see how big that became. But I mean, if Gears is a good game to you, Gears is a good game to you, especially if you loved it when it first came out.
Yeah.
So it's like, why would a review change how you feel about a game? Why would a review make you feel that type of way? You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I look at reviews and I take reviews as, okay, I already know I'm gonna get this game or not. At the end of the day, I go on Twitch and look at the game. I look at trailers. I go on YouTube. I do my research on a game before, and I don't just trust one review. I watch many reviews. So it's like, why would one review just make you feel that way? I don't understand.
No, I get it. But it's not one review. It's more or less like the
almost
purity.
Everyone.
Yes, the purity of the review. You know what I mean?
That's
because
what I'm saying.
It's these people who are so-called gaming journalists that are not giving accurate accounts of accurate reviews of a game. You know what I mean? And it's like, you don't want that kind of premise there, because at the end of the day, if they're not gonna be honest about it,
well,
you know what I mean?
That's my thing. But who's to say what what I think of that game, or what that reviewer thinks of that game really thinks about that game versus what you think about it?
But
like
here's
I said,
another
at the end of the day, Metal Gear's out. Metal Gear's
to counter
out
that
right
though.
now.
The thing is, it's something where if they're giving a review, their opinion of the game, that's fine. But if they're like not talking about some of the negative elements of the game, which is what Fringy was really getting into,
right?
You know, it's like that's just as bad as lying. You're like purposely omitting some of the truth, or like, hey, you're just not mentioning it. It's just as bad, because if somebody purchases it based off of all that they know, and then it's like, well, I didn't like this part of the game. Why didn't they tell me about it? That's bullshit, man. It's gonna affect sales. You know what I mean?
I just wanted to add in for Kasemi here.
Okay.
Kasemi, dude, I feel for you, man. What you just said is exactly what I do. But at the same time, I know where Alex is coming from, because, dude, let me tell you, when I go and look up a review for a game, I have to go through like 10 pages. I have to look for guys that only have 10 views, because like I have to go through like 5 pages of reviewers, because these 5 pages of reviewers have like over 100,000 subscribers or something like that, and they're all getting paid to lie about the game. So I have to go find guys with 20 views and stuff, and then they give me a realistic opinion about the game, and it's like, oh cool, all right, now I know this and that. The guys with the 20 views and stuff like that, they've never let me down. But I'm just saying, if I had to complain about something, it's that I have to go through like 10 pages of YouTube to get through all the professionals to get to the real reviewers.
And the professionals are being bought out. You know what I mean?
Again, man, it's not that serious to me, because it is a business. This is a business. They're gonna get undercut with these offers and hey, do this, do that. At the end of the day, well, let's be grown up and research the game yourself. Don't trust one reviewer. Like you said, Snake. If you got people on YouTube, that you relate to and that you trust, look at their reviews. Trust their reviews. You know what I'm saying? So what they're doing with IGN and I know exactly what y'all talking about, because I've been watching before the game came out all last week. I was watching Greg Miller, and the guy that was with Greg Miller, I guess he was a community manager or whatever, was just telling him what to do, and it was bugging him, and it was bugging the fuck out of me. I'm like, damn, just let him play the game, and I watched what exactly what we're talking about. But at the end of the day, in this case, which may not, like I said, you can count me out or however you want to do it. In this case, it really can be washed away, because the game is a 10 to me. I love it. So in this case, I'm not gonna. In this case, is whatever. But
I'm not gonna.
If this were any other game, say Mad Max, or like I said with Gears, with that just coming out. If you never played Gears, you watch the review and you see them get a 7. Like I don't understand how you can just watch the review and be like, okay, I'm not getting the game now. You know, do something else.
No, but there's some
you know?
people who are like that. You know what I mean?
And that's what I'm saying. You got to change my. That's all I'm saying. You got to do more than that. Come on now.
If you guys
know that these people is paying these people to do these reviews and get these good scores or whatever, you got to do other than that, because these reviews ain't, as y'all can see, ain't trustworthy.
Yeah, and you know, just for time's sake, I want to give everybody a chance to not run overtime. But we'll do the alibis at the end if you know, just make the what you want to.
That's all I got right there. I mean, this just ain't that serious to me.
Yeah, okay. Because at the end of the day, you know, I think that's where the whole Gamergate thing popped up, where it's just like, tell the good, the bad, and the ugly about the game, and let, you know, folks. And, you know, I'm going to be honest, and I didn't want to say, but Sunset Overdrive, I got caught up in the hype, and I don't like the game. As much as all these other people were playing it, and I tried to get it to play with Noob and Shinwar, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I got caught up in the reviews and all that other stuff, and then by the time I'm like, it's just not.
You know? see, and that's the thing. I wanted to get Sunset Overdrive, and if I would have looked at the reviews, I would have got it. But you know, I looked at Let's Plays, and I did everything else, and I'm like, I may can skip this, and I'm not getting it. So
okay. So next in the shoot, NYC Playboy. What are your thoughts? And to me, just to sum it up, like, it seems like Konami had a major influence on the review of Metal Gear Solid 5, and just like, you know, with these journalists not standing up and saying that, hey, look, let me give this an honest review. Pre-reviews, no good. You know, there's no way they can accurately get everything that is Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain in 40 hours, when we know full well it's going to take a lot longer to complete that game.
Well, is it unethical? Yes. Is it illegal? No. And I'm with Nick. I do not. What he said about IGN was correct. I do not take anything. I just look at IGN this year from maybe some pop culture news or something. I give them some thought about whatever their reviews and what have you, because I actually look for the guys to 10, 5, 15, 20 reviews on these.
Yeah.
You know, like some of these streamers now, some of these big streamers now, they're hyping up, you know, Blizzard or you know, Konami or you know, EA or whatever, you know, and you can tell they're getting paid. It's like, you know what? I was down with you, and you barely had 20 viewers. Now look at you, you know what I mean? So yeah, you have to do your own research. Don't go off of, you know, because don't go off these so-called game journalists reviews. And at the end of the day, the reason why these game journalists do this is because if they do a quote unquote honest review, they will lose their access to that developer.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's like a bully tactic. It's like, hey, if you don't give our game a good review, you won't get review copies anymore. You're not gonna get this. And then it's like, it's turning into a dishonest environment, you know. And it's just, man, Fringy. When he was going off on that video, I was like, hell yeah. He's saying everything that a lot of YouTubers are afraid to say. With the exception of Alpha Omega Sin, he doesn't give two fucks. He'll give you the shit straight, raw, 90 proof vodka, like what I've been drinking that Chris gave me for my birthday. Man, shit, Chris, that's killing me, bro. Oh my god.
What are you talking about?
Well, we'll talk about that offline. But with that, on your knees, what are your thoughts about this topic at hand? Then I'm gonna give Nuke the floor, then Nelson.
No, you're not.
What? Alright, go ahead.
No, yeah, this has been going on forever, but it's like, I'm sorry, let me just get this shit up here. Yeah, it's like what Snake said. You gotta trust. You gotta go to independent reviewers because you're gonna get the most honest shit there.
And they don't have anything to gain or lose from doing it.
Yeah, and shit's been going on forever. The whole thing, like you keep mentioning Gamergate, it's a very incestuous. Not just the indie scene, but everything. They're afraid to, you know, piss off the game company because they don't want to lose their free review copies. And most people don't even disclose that they get free review copies. IGN doesn't. There are a bunch of others that don't. But the big thing with this thing, that most people know, this shit goes on all the time with them hawking over them, watching them do their review so they can get a launch day review. But the real issue here is that aside from Rock Paper Shotgun and one other site, no one disclosed that this shit went down. That's the only reason why people know this went down for this latest game is because they disclosed it, no one else did.
And it's bad enough Konami already got bad PR. You know what I mean? I think it's amplified because of the maltreatment of Konami's workers, Kojima scandal, and all this other stuff. You know what I mean? It's just Konami cannot afford for this game to be caught up in that. You know what I mean? Especially if it's Kojima's last masterpiece with the company. You know what I mean?
So I'm just gonna stick with my standard suggestions. Don't buy launch day. Wait for reviews. Don't trust launch day reviews. So you could probably trust reviews if they're a week out. Don't trust launch day reviews.
Okay.
Especially from untrusted, main broadcast media or major YouTubers.
Okay.
Unless there are a few outstanding major YouTubers, I do trust. Total Biscuit. He's very upfront with his disclosures. And he's actually a big champion of all that because he sees what other people do. But he's rather trustworthy in that. But most others, they don't disclose shit, and the FTC, like we mentioned earlier, is cracking down on that.
Okay.
But yeah, so just be wary, and don't buy launch day, and don't pre-order either.
Yeah, well, this is true. And then now, as I'm gonna give Noop his chance, he decides to disappear.
He's there.
What the heck?
All right.
What are your thoughts on that?
Oh,
Chris, card. You got the card?
Okay. Well.
Yeah, that's the painful one. I didn't get a chance to preview these. I loaded all 3 car crashes I have, so I won't do that one again.
There goes my non-existent ears.
Okay, go ahead, Noop.
What's the complete topic? I wasn't here at the very beginning.
Well, basically, to recap, and for those just joining the stream, Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain was the pre-release reviews where it was pretty much in a controlled environment that Konami was running. They were hawking over the reviewers. They only gave them 40 hours worth of time to play a game that's essentially going to take a couple hundred hours to complete if you're going to get everything. Not only that, they had access to cheat codes and other incentives to finish the game quicker. And it's almost as if they were kind of saying, hey, don't write anything bad about our game, you know? Fringy, who was the reason why I brought this video up, I put it in the link, so if during the intermission, if anybody wants to check it out in the chat, you can check that. And it's basically like, you know, a lot of people didn't want to play the Mother Base mode setup, and they were just like, just give me the game. But they weren't allowed to say that, hey, they didn't like that mode. You know what I mean? Hey, the game had to get 10 out of 10. There's no, honestly, in this day and age, there's no such thing as the perfect game, because not everybody's different. You know what I mean? But with the way that they tried to steer the review, and Konami's bragging that we got 10 out of 10, but it's like if you do post-launch review, it's probably not gonna get a 10 out of 10. But at least be honest about it, and that's the topic. So, what are your thoughts on that, Noob?
Well, like it seems to be a going theme with these podcasts that we're doing, and it's sad, but you know, this is becoming more of a money-making business than an entertainment business. And I mean, bad reviews kill companies. You know, good reviews move more units, whether we get duped or not. But the thing is, you have to tap into your own personal human element and realize, at the end of the day, whether it's a 0 or whether it's a 10, a review is someone else's opinion about a product. Because everything gets reviewed these days. You know, like one of my favorite top 5 360 games of all time is Dead to Rights Retribution. Some of y'all probably never even played it. Some of you probably haven't even heard of it. But it was so fun. It didn't look the best. It was awesome. The functionality wasn't always the best. It glitched out, but it was so fun. And it got hammered in reviews, but I bought it because I was a fan of the series.
You purchased it for the stripper scene just like everyone else, man.
What?
Like, no.
Metal Gear, baby.
I mean, hold on. There's just...
Sorry, I was a little slow on that.
There's just so many things wrong with reviews today. A lot of, like you say, like a lot of the popular reviews, sometimes I scroll straight to the end and look at the big pluses and the big minuses and say, is this a game that I think is for me? Like me personally, I don't like open world games. Like Grand Theft Auto, I don't see what the big deal is. I played the story mode, it was fun.
It's the freedom to do whatever you want in the games.
Open world.
I bought Metal Gear because I've been down since the freaking demo came out on PS1. Didn't play it.
Yes, sir.
I've been down with it that long on PS1. So, and I have the collection on PS3. So I was like, I'm gonna get it for the story, regardless of reviews. But I mean, it doesn't surprise me that things like this go on because these companies want to sell units because they want to stay in business. And you're right, Alex. There's no such thing. I don't think there's ever been a game that's quote unquote perfect. We can always find something wrong with something.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's only gonna get worse. You know, it's only gonna get worse. But
the thing, another thing that before you came into the call, that I want you to kind of touch on. It's one thing if you're gonna give a review, give all of the review, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You know what I mean? And with when I had touched on the mother base mode thing, where if you had some people who said that they could do without it, why isn't it that in the review? Why is Konami trying to control and steer that? And like you said, it's a money-making business now. It's not an honest business anymore. Because let's say that they shoehorn that mode into the game and somebody didn't want to play it. Look at what happened with Metal Gear Solid 2, where, you know, the trailers, Snake and this and that, and then they throw Raiden in your face. Like, what the?
The Raiden was a little, bro, but Metal Gear
Solid
Solid 2 was pretty sweet. I mean, yeah.
No, it was good. It was really good. But you get what I'm saying? It's like
I wanted Snake, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, because it was misleading in how it was presented, and that's why they got to be careful. Because, as Fringy said, if On Your Knees was saying, if this has been going on for a long time, and now just because of the access to social media and all this other stuff, like we're turning over these rocks and seeing the worms underneath, you know, it's like, man, this is just some corrupt shit going on.
You got the shit with the Assassin's Creed game and the Mass Effect 3 ending. Only Eric Kane from Forbes reported on that. No one else what was it? One of the other magazines briefly mentioned it, but no one else mentioned the abortion of the ending that game had. So this shit's been going on for a long time, even well before that.
Well, what really happens is these companies need to think about the long term, because as gamers, sometimes, yes, we're very dumb in our decision making, but look at Bungie and Destiny. Destiny got overhyped reviews. It didn't live up to the hype. Angry Joe, I shot him out because he gave a real honest review, and he described that game perfectly. It's an addictive gambling game, because it is. You literally do the same things over and over because you hope to get that next piece of armor or that next
grinding
gun.
element.
Can I add something about Angry Joe?
Yeah. Well, let me finish. Let me finish first. But what happened was, once we started playing the game, a lot of people dropped out of the game, and then they wanted to come out with the Taken King. Now that this company that has already got overhyped, you know, these I would call inaccurate reviews, now when you're ready to release your next product, they're having a tougher time, and they're being harshly criticized by the fans rather than the gaming companies, because it's like, hey, first time around, y'all promised all this stuff and we bought into it. Now that you really want to get your foot in the door and really make some more money off us, hold on. I'm skeptical.
I don't know, man.
Last time, you know what I mean, you kind of fooled me. So they have to be very careful with that, because even if it's not a 10 out of 10, if Metal Gear turns out to be a great game, they'll be okay. But you got to be careful, because your product in the long run has to live up to those reviews, because if it doesn't, it's going to be a one-shot deal.
Exactly. And I think that's what they're betting on. They're like, hey, let's dupe them real quick and make all the money that we can, and then go about our business, you know what I mean? And you know, at the end of the day, don't bite the hand that feeds you. We're the ones that's supporting these guys, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, they don't want to piss off the fans. You know, I apologize for me not being on the camera. I'm trying to fix my screen.
What were you gonna say about Angry Joe?
No, I was just gonna say, I forgot to actually mention that guy. So Angry Joe, let me tell you, when I play the shit out of a video game, like let's just say there's a game I know and love, right? I played the crap out of it and stuff like that, or just played it to its fullest potential and stuff, and listened to a reviewer. I can easily tell, I can smell it a mile away if you're someone who seriously played the game or not. There's certain characteristics that people follow that if they didn't play the game, they try to pretend like they know what they're talking about and stuff. I can spot that a mile away. I can tell if you're just reading a script, and anyone can tell that. But most importantly, I can tell that if you seriously played the game. The funny thing about Angry Joe, and this surprised the fuck out of me, I watched his I can't watch his videos because they're too long. But when I did watch his like 30-minute videos and stuff like that, the funny thing is, I was completely convinced that this man actually sat down, played the entire game, and was like, okay, I'm gonna jot down these notes about A, B, and C and stuff like that. Not for a second did I think, yo, Joe's just reading some script or something like that. I believe that that he seriously plays every single game, because when someone tries to complain about a game, they go, oh, it's stupid because the gun's bad. But Joe will be like, the gun's
you could tell with Joe, especially because his reviews don't come out until like a couple weeks later.
And
like a week.
He
usually gets it a week.
Clip of what he's talking about up as he's talking about it. And
Right.
He
has great production. He has great little skits. He does it. I enjoy Angry Joe and how he does it.
I've never seen Angry Joe. I've never thought, not once that, this motherfucker read a script. He didn't play the game.
Yeah.
All right. So for the sake of time, my co-CEO Nelson, your thoughts on the topic at hand, and being that you're going last, I know that you had time to absorb everybody's opinion, and that's usually an advantage. That's why, you can always like retort to what we get to say, and then after Nelson's response, any little thing we have after that, then we'll put that out there, and then we'll close the segment. But Nelson, your thoughts?
All right. Well, let me say foremost, I have not played the game. I've been watching a bunch of trailers up to the game. I have the Day 1 edition right here for the PlayStation 4. And whatnot.
No, you played all the other Metal Gear Solids, right?
Of course, I played every goddamn one.
Don't worry about it.
And I have to say, based on what I saw, based on what my friends has been telling me, this game is like way beyond belief, like crazy. And again, that is an opinion, because everyone else will say like, oh, the game is not good because I like it linear. I don't like it open world or such and such or whatever.
Some people don't like Metal Gear, period.
Yeah, some people don't like Metal Gear. Like we have a couple friends that rather play Splinter Cell than Metal Gear. But we'll leave that for another time. We'll leave that for another time. But for these people, okay, to do an early pre-review before the game is officially dropped, we'll say a week before, okay? A week before, you guys cannot sit there and tell me that your review is legitimate. I don't give a fuck if you run a multi-billion-dollar company. You're full of shit. You just want money in your pocket, point blank. There are several, and I mean several on hand, that I can honestly say that they genuinely give a shit about their reviews when they are talking about it, and you can see the disgust. And as of I don't know which one of you guys mentioned it, but the guy from IGN who's obsessed with Metal Gear, and apparently when he got told, oh, you can only play the mother base or you can only play this specific side ops mission, he was actually aggravated because he's like, dude, I bought the game mad early and I want to experience it for my fucking self and give a live review reaction of the game, not being confined by a box and telling me what the fuck to do.
Wait, he works for IGN and he's now complaining about this?
It's like, hey, I'm just saying, this is like from what I heard within his like E3 rant when he talked to Kojima in person and he told him like, I'm gonna do this and such and that, and that's what happened, right?
That is beyond silly.
And then you have other reviewers, as what you've been saying, like you would have to find like the low peak subscriber count viewers to actually get their opinions, because let's think about it, like let's be realistic. Anyone who's not officially well known and is still underground, they're very hungry to strive to the top, and they will do anything and everything to make their opinion and facts known, whether if it's a good solid review or just, just honest to God gameplay. Instead of just sitting there, oh, we have God mode on, let's review the game in fucking 40 minutes. No.
Yeah, and those are the conditions that the player, the consumer.
That's every company, Alex. And
the thing is with that, Nelson, we won't ever have that God mode or that Easter egg stuff, to play in those conditions, because let's say the mission is so hard. They were saying, Fringy was talking about in his video, they were stating that there were some areas that were so difficult that they needed a little bit of help, and that's where the microtransactions come into play. Wow. If it's too hard, hey, just so you can complete the game, but they will shame you for it. They'll say, hey, you got this little icon, you had help.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But the thing is like, All right, if you guys are complaining and bitching about the game is hard, I'm gonna say it like this because I've been saying it to a lot of people. Half of the world does not know what Metal Gear Solid is.
Yeah.
To this fucking day. And the only thing is that you guys got this game, specifically this one, because it fucking graphically it looks ridiculous.
Exactly.
The trailers were so emotional and like, holy crap, this what the fuck is that, a mech? Oh shit, is that Psycho Mantis? Is that, you know, it's crazy. So these people have to like kind of cut it out. Don't just get the game because if it's for the hype. Have some background about it. Like I specifically played all 8 canon Metal Gear Solid games, and I own every single one of them.
I will say this though, they made it easy for newcomers to come on. They really made it easy with them making it free on Xbox and free on PlayStation Plus for those months. They made it with Ground Zeroes. It eases you in, and well, by no stretch is the game easy at all, because those, even the controls, I still kind of fumble around doing some type of commands and stuff like that. So I mean, but
you see,
they make it
Khalid,
easy for newcomers.
Can like when we're at the end of this, can I talk about like why I'm just so disappointed in Metal Gear Solid? Can I do that?
Well, you know what? We're gonna save that for like when we do a review, and we'll show them how to do it right. Yeah, you know what I mean? Hopefully it doesn't get flagged or you can't talk bad about our game.
Well, see, here's the thing. We can't get flagged for expressing our opinions about a game. And let me just say this right now, outright, foremost. A week before the game actually officially launched, Hideo or Hideo Kojima, I don't know how you guys would like to pronounce his name.
I say Hideo.
Okay, so Hideo Kojima. His opinion and his producer Rice still actually gave a shit before the game actually came out on September 1st. And after September 1st, boop, disappeared. So everyone basically who's a true Metal Gear Solid fan got the game because out of respect
for him,
for this man, for the 20-something plus years that he's put in this industry, for making Metal Gear, Silent Hill, and so on, with all these good games. And a lot of people are like downplaying these games because it's like, oh, you know, since he left and he got taken off the project, not many people knew about it. Oh, the game is gonna suck. It's just repetitive. You might as well just play Grand Theft Auto or Batman Arkham Knight. It's all the same shit. It's just that you're out in the fucking desert and blah blah blah. The game is mad hard, so I gotta buy these Microsoft or PlayStation transaction points to make the game easier and blah blah blah. And
but you know what? And to add to that, Nelson, before we, you know, I don't want to go overboard. At least the review should reflect what you just said. Be honest about it, and out of respect for Kojima.
Yeah.
Because if his game is great, if his game is it is indeed perfect, right? Let it be honest. Not like how Konami was trying to do that. You know what I mean? It's out of respect for Kojima. And you know what? Konami doesn't respect Kojima. But the gaming industry and the people doing the reviews should respect him, and he deserves an honest review and not that bullshit that Konami was pulling.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I got a bullseye on Konami's forehead for that bullshit.
Yeah, and plus to end it off, because I don't want to go off on a fucking long ass tangent. Kojima specifically made it an apparent point that you guys will never ever have to pay for DLC for this fucking game. Everything is unlockable within the confines of the game. He has specified this to the utmost limit. That's why there's a well, I keep saying Microsoft. There's a transaction fee where you guys can buy coins and stuff like that to hurry up and buy weapons or, you know, extra characters and stuff like that from other base, and you know, and so on. But you don't have to, because you can do the work, which was the intentional purpose of enjoying the game that he put almost all of his heart in, just like what he did in his last several pieces of Metal Gear. So you guys have to appreciate something that he's been trying to do, and for him to go out on this note, regardless of the little skeptical things that Konami has been doing and stuff like that, it's just sad to me. But I would say, based on what I saw, I think the game is like a flawless masterpiece, with the exception with the PC side that it sometimes crashes with, depending on certain graphics cards.
Okay. Now with that, you know, I know this was a bit long, but I felt passionate about this. That's why I wanted to bring it up with the panel. You know, but make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you think about the whole. I mean, this took different faces of this in this topic, so it's almost like a 3-in-1. honest reviews. You know what some people think about Metal Gear and its legacy, and respect for Kojima, respect for the gaming industry. You know what I mean? If anything, if this is the direction that the industry is going, and these companies, or like on your niece said earlier on, if they've been doing this all along and we just didn't really, we weren't aware of it because we didn't have access like we have now back then, man, I might kind of step away for a bit because I don't like being deceived into doing things. But that's part of life in general. Hey, how are they going to make a sale on a car? How are they going to get you to buy a cable provider or a cell phone? They got to find some way to dupe the consumer. So I'm just taking a serious note. Rate, comment, and subscribe. Check us out on Newgamingorder.com, and we'll see you on the next segment. Hopefully it'll take a lighter tone because I was kind of pissed off about it earlier when I saw it, you know. But with that, Nelson, any final words before we move into segment 2?
Yes, don't let anybody be fooled by reviewers of corporate industry, meaning IGN and so on. Where, let's see if I can state this. Mr. King Piccolo within the chat says the best reviewer is one in itself. You are the best reviewer. You
yes, sir.
Will make the
Where's
opinion.
that clap motion? Where's that clap shit? Where's soundboard?
There you go.
Shit,
So,
get that
Actually, that sounds really good.
Yeah, so shout outs to Mr. King Piccolo with facts right there.
Yes, amen, amen. And make sure you check out Fringy's channel, which I will put on the YouTube excerpt. And then those of you checking out the director's cut, you know, you get to see all the
Directors?
The who?
Directors? Hold on.
Resident Evil Director's Cut.
This segment has come to a close. We'll see you on the next one.
Nah, don't close it.